Okay, let me show you how to do this. I'm going to use Photoshop first because I'm dealing with a raster image. It's a PNG with transparent background. And it's important that I make sure the images are the same size. So let me increase the border around the image. I'm going to increase both the height and width, as you see I'm doing here. And this will make more sense later when I show you stroking. Now after I increase the size, I'm just going to save it. You can see I increased the border around the image. So let me save it now. And we'll just save it as, let's call it complete. I guess I should have named it original, but we'll call it complete. Okay, save it as a PNG file. Now that I saved it, I'm going to work on this. So I'm going to use the Photoshop wand tool, which is a selection tool, and I'm going to select the letter Q. Now I'm going to modify that selection. I'm going to go to Adobe's select menu, modify, and contract it by 20 pixels. And then I'm going to use the delete key, and you can see I got an outline of the Q. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the word the. I'm going to select it with the wand tool. I'm going to select the THE. And this time I'm only going to contract it by 5 pixels. So let me modify it. Contract it. 5 pixels. Okay. Delete. And now I have the Q. That's the logo. Now let me save that. I'm going to save this one as a transparent PNG. Let's call it line. L-I-N-E. Okay, now it's time to use Adobe Illustrator. First I'm going to work on the image we named line. In Adobe you can use a feature called Fit to Artboard Bounds. So that's what I'm going to do. This way I know the boundary of the image. Then I'm going to zoom in. It's important I know the boundary so I don't stroke beyond that boundary. Now I'm going to get prepared for stroking. Let me change the stroke color to red. I don't know if you know how to stroke. This is pretty common stuff. Let's change the width. And I'm going to use a pencil tool. I always like to use a separate layer for the stroke. So I create a new layer. And now I'm going to start stroking. Okay. Oh, this could get boring. So you surely know how to stroke by now. So let me speed it up. Remember, I cannot go outside the boundaries of the image. Otherwise, the two images are going to be different sizes, and what I'm trying to create will not work, which you'll see at the end what this does. So here we go. Let's start creating, or let's start stroking. Cover everything with the red pencil tool. We're almost done. We're getting there. I'm staying within the boundary of the image, and I'm going to be done in a second. There I am. And now I'm going to select that layer, and I'm going to make that 0 opacity. So it's so 0 opacity. You have to make sure it is. And let's save this as a vector image. And we're going to save it as SVG. It'll be called line SVG when I'm done. I think you know how to do that. And that's it for that one. Now we're going to work on the one that's called complete. Let's open that up. Same deal. I got to fit the boundary so I know what the boundary of the image is. You can do that in Adobe. I don't know if any other tools can do that software. Then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to set up my stroking. I'm going to create a new layer for the stroke. Let's make sure there's no background. There you go. Let's set the stroke color to red again. The width, set whatever width you want. Getting it all set up here. Select the pencil tool. And we're done. Okay. We got it all set up the way you want. Okay, here we go. We're going to start stroking. And let me, again, I got to stay within the boundaries. It's important. Think about it this way. We have two images, and each image has strokes. If one of those strokes for one of those images went beyond the boundary of the image, then they would not be the same size, and that would hurt what you're trying to accomplish. You got to keep the images the same size. So for some reason, if one of the strokes went beyond the boundary of the images that you set up in Photoshop, it would not be the same size, and you would not be able to accomplish the effect that you want. You'll see that later when I'm using VideoScribe. Okay, we're done stroking. Change the opacity to 0. There we go. Let's save it as a vector file. So this one's called complete, so it's going to be called complete SVG. Let's save it. Now we have 2 vector files, as you'll see in a second, and we're going to use those. Now we're into VideoScribe, so let's get the first vector file we're going to get is the line one. We called line SVG. We saved it. Okay. Let's go. Here it is, SVG. We're going to use a line. There you go. Let me make it the size I want. Once that, I got to set the camera. Let me set the camera. Okay, now let me duplicate that line image, because I'm now going to replace the duplicate with the complete image, the complete SVG. Remember, I got to keep them the same size. So now let's use the complete. We replace the line image with the complete image. Now we got 2 images on the timeline, one complete. For the heck of it, I'm going to change the line image hand to pencil, change the complete image hand to paintbrush, and voila. In a second here, when I preview it, you will see that it paints perfectly within the line. Here we go. Come on, let's do it. Okay. Okay, first the line tool, now the paintbrush. And you can see it does it perfectly. It does not go out of bounds. That's how you do it.